Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. Let me start off today's video by making a few corrections because I said something in the last video that wasn't accurate. One, when I was talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce and when their albums dropped, I said 2006, 2007, but everybody knows that I actually meant 1996-97. However, sometimes I'm making these videos, I got a lot going on, and ish happens. Two, I also made a reference to Eric Benet knocking Halle Berry upside the noggin, but I was actually thinking about Wesley Snipes because according to David Justice, Wesley Snipes is the one that knocked her upside the noggin so hard that she lost her hearing. Eric Benet was just the one that was just cheating on her all the time because he said he had a sex addiction.
Your life has not been an easy life for years while you were dating. You said that you had relationships with abusive men. One man stole all your jewelry. I mean, you really know how to pick them.
I know. If there's a loser in any town,
you would have found him.
I used to find them. It was just my way.
One of these men hit you so hard in the ear that you lost 80% of your hearing in your left ear. Is that true? Was he famous? That means yes. I would love to know who he is, but you probably won't tell me, will you?
No.
I just wanted to make sure that I corrected that because I don't want to put what Wesley Snipes did on Eric Benet. So my apologies. Listen, we deal in facts, and even though when I'm telling these stories I might say it a certain way, we still deal in facts. Now, as you know, Fani Willis done beat the system. I mean, they tried to take her down, put her on the stand, make her go through a hearing to prove that she was out there stealing money from the government and that she was also getting her swerve on with this dude, Nathan Wade, in an attempt to try to get Fani disqualified from the Trump RICO case. But instead of getting Fani kicked off the case, Fani got up on that stand and taught everybody a thing or two, including the fact that one, she could get herself a little in-office D and take a few field trips and still do her job. Two, you gotta keep a little money in the house. And three, Fani enjoys Grey Goose over wine. Alright, so here's a quick recap of the case. First off, when Fani Willis entered that courtroom, she was ready. But they weren't ready for the fact that she was ready. Check this out.
Ms. Willis, how did you know to come into the courtroom right then?
There were people I was pacing in my office.
Okay.
And I heard someone yell, "His testimony is done." It only made sense to me that I would be your next witness. And I've been very anxious to have this conversation with you today. So I ran to the courtroom.
So as soon as you heard that Mr. Wade was done testifying, that's when you just assumed you would be the next witness?
It only makes sense.
Did you listen to any of the testimony?
I've been in my office pacing, ma'am.
Did you listen to any of the arguments?
I did hear the arguments this morning. It's ridiculous to me that you lied on Monday, and yet here we still are.
So then, in order to try to strengthen their weak case, they tried to get access to Fani's records. But Fani said this.
I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
Okay, so after that, they tried to make it seem as if Fani was trying to purposely hide her relationship with Nathan Wade. But this is what Fani had to say.
You hired Mr. Wade for the first time on November 1st of 2021, correct?
November of 2021, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Your testimony is, whether one accepts it or not, your testimony is that at the time you hired Mr. Wade, there had never been a romantic relationship with Mr. Wade before you hired him, correct?
Yes, my testimony is that we were very good friends, but we're talking about sex, so let's just don't.
No, I'm not talking about, I'm saying romantic relationship doesn't necessarily have to be just sex.
Well,
it can be dating, it can be holding hands, it can be any of those things that one might call romantic. I'm asking you whether or not prior to November 1st of 2021, there was a romantic relationship with Mr. Wade. That's very simple. It's either a yes or a no.
I don't consider my relationship with him to be romantic before that. I'm not a hand holder, so no.
Who in the prosecution team knew of your personal relationship, and now I'm talking romantic, with Mr. Wade?
So, sir, I am extremely private.
All I ask is who knew. It's not, the answer is no one knew, that's fine.
No.
I ask you who knew.
Answer
it and then explain this, Willis.
I am very private. When I supervised Mr. Body and Mr. McAfee, they didn't know who I was dating, but I can assure you I was dating somebody. So that I kept something private, that's my private life, is not any mystery to anyone. It's like a woman doesn't have the right to keep her private life private. And I'm speaking on this because there have been all these intimations.
You still haven't answered the question, Ms. Willis.
I'm sorry, what was the question, Your Honor?
Is there anyone else who knew about it? And then you can explain.
I don't know. I don't think so. I certainly didn't go out telling my business to the world.
Now, after they couldn't successfully catch her out there, as far as her relationship with Nathan goes, they tried to turn around and say that she was siphoning cash from the government. So they were like, where'd you get all the money from that you were using to take these extravagant trips with Nathan, which included going on wine tastings? And Fani was like, first off, I don't drink wine. I drink Grey Goose.
I think we did 2 different wine tours that you do, which are pretty expensive. I think I bought him. He likes wine. I don't really like wine, to be honest with you. I like Grey Goose.
My girl was like, if you're going to come at me, you better have your facts straight. Now, after that, they were like, all right then, where'd you get all the cash to be able to pay for these extravagant trips that you were going on with Nathan Wade? And my girl was like, please, that's my pocket change.
So Fulton County pays you direct deposit, I assume?
Yes, Fulton County and the state of Georgia both pay me direct deposits.
Okay. So the cash that you would pay him, you wouldn't get it out of the bank?
I have money in my house.
You have money in your house. So it was just money that was there?
When you meet my father, he's going to tell you as a woman, you should always have, which I don't have, so let's don't tell him that. You should have at least 6 months in cash at your house at all times. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to, because I don't go on many dates. But when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from, if it didn't come out of the bank?
Cash is fungible. I've had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you I just have cash in my house. I don't have as much today as I would normally have, but I'm building back up now. So you just put money in. It's a very good practice. I would advise it to all women.
So you can't identify when you came into this cash or where the cash came from?
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. Nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work, sweat, and tears of me.
Now, after grilling Fani, Ashley Merchant, the attorney for Trump's co-defendant Mike Roman, who basically started this whole thing, decided to throw her 2 ace-in-the-hole key witnesses on the stand. Terrence Bradley, who's Nathan Wade's co-worker, and Robin Yurdy, who was supposedly Fani Willis's friend before she started working with her. Alright, so during the testimony of these two, we found out that Terrence Bradley is the primary snitch, who was texting back and forth with Ashley Merchant about Fani. For example, in one of his texting sessions with Ashley, Ashley was like, do you think it started before she hired him? And Terrence was like, absolutely. And then he was like, it started when she was in a DA's office and was judge in South Fulton. And then Ashley was like, it's my hope that they both do the right thing before then. And then Terrence was like, you're my friend and I trust you. They will not. They're arrogant as F. She thinks she won the other day when she didn't have to be deposed. But as it turned out, Bradley's testimony was a bust because not only does he have no credibility, but he has a history of abusing women and he broke attorney-client privilege when he was on the phone with Ashley Merchant gossiping about Nathan Wade. Because back in the day, Terrence Bradley represented Nathan Wade with some stuff that had to do with his divorce case. So, Terrence Bradley was explicitly bound by an oath and he broke it. So, sooner or later, this week, next week, or like 3 weeks after that, this dude is most likely gonna be disbarred. So essentially, in trying to take out Fani, he kicked his own self in the fanny. The second witness, which was supposed to be Fani Willis's friend turned colleague, Robin Bryant Yurdy, just basically got up there and was sharing hearsay. And she got caught out there because she had to admit that she was forced to resign from her job before Fani fired her because she was in the office effing up.
The question, Ms. Yurdy, was, did the district attorney ever counsel you on your poor performance in the district attorney's office prior and inform you that you were going to be fired?
I don't really know how to answer that.
I'm looking for the truth.
I don't really know how to answer that. I mean, the situation happened. That wasn't my fault. And I either was going to resign or be let go. So
You understood that that was the situation. You could resign or you could be let go.
correct, yes.
You were not welcome to stay.
No.
Yo, you can't trust that chick. She looks like the type that was in that office stealing office supplies. Now, after Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee reviewed the case, which included the testimonies of Bradley and Yurdy, along with the testimonies of Fani's father, the old Southern gentleman who Fani originally wanted to serve as special prosecutor, and a few others, he concluded that neither Bradley nor Yurdy were credible, and he also ruled that Fani Willis could in fact continue to lead the case against Trump and his cronies in Georgia as long as the special prosecutor Nathan Wade was replaced. Actually, let me be more specific, because what the judge really said is that they could choose, and either Fani could go or Nathan could go. But knowing Fani, we all know how that was gonna go. Cause Fani was in there like, no way, no way, I'm leaving this office. I'm staying, and you're gonna love me. With that being said, within hours of the decision, Willis's office confirmed that Nathan Wade had resigned, and she accepted his resignation. And I mean, honestly, the choice was likely an easy one, because if Fani would have removed herself, the case against Trump would basically come to a halt. But having Wade leave will ensure that the case continues without further delay. In his letter, Wade said, "I'm offering my resignation in the interest of democracy, in dedication to the American public, and to move this case forward as quickly as possible." Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, because it turns out that part of the reason why the judge ruled in Fani's favor is because while Ashley Merchant was over there trying to make it seem like Fani Willis is a pauper, and she was pressing her about where she got $100 here, $500 there, and $2,500 to go on vacation with Nathan Wade, and also insinuated that Fani was trying to use government funds to vacate with her bae, the judge deemed that financial gain was in no way part of Fani's motivation for hiring Nathan. As a matter of fact, in his ruling, the judge said the district attorney was not financially destitute throughout this time or in any great need. Later on in the paperwork, the judge goes on to say, defendants argue that the financial arrangement created an incentive to prolong the case, but in fact, there's no indication that the district attorney is interested in delaying anything. Indeed, the record is quite to the contrary. Now, the reason why the judge said this is that it turns out that while Ashley Merchant was trying to figure out how it was humanly possible for Fani Willis to have $2,000 to $3,000 just laying around the house so that she could go on vacation with Nathan Wade, she didn't do her homework, because in those records that Fani Willis wouldn't let her look at, it turns out that not only does Fani Willis make $200,000 a year, but Fani Willis's net worth is a whopping $8.5 million. Yes, people, $8.5 million, which is why Fani Willis was on that stand practically laughing when Ashley Merchant said this.
Mr. Merchant, are you trying to establish that she was insolvent in some way?
I definitely was trying to establish that she did not have these mass amounts of cash that she's talking about, yes.
Yo, Fani Willis played these cats like a fiddle. I mean, you guys remember The Usual Suspects? Fani Willis Kaiser Sose these cats. Wow. Listen, let me tell you what Trump and them just learned. Fani Willis is no joke, and she didn't get to where she's at by being a slouch. I mean, this chick right here knows the law like the back of her hand. So, if you were trying to get at her, you should have came with your A team, because the B team... The B team was just no match. And I know, there's a whole bunch of legal and political pundits who are out there like, oh my goodness, she was so unprofessional. Listen, Fani Willis did everything that she did up on that stand on purpose. I mean, oh my goodness, it was beautiful. Because what she understood is that she had to get all of that information into the record. So she was hitting them with the long-winded answers. Oh, I loved it. It was like watching Michael Jordan play full steam against a whole team of elementary schoolers. Alright, so after the decision came down and the judge determined that Fani Willis could stay on the case, Laura Ingraham jumped on Fox News and she said that because of all the things that Fani Willis did, her career in politics is over. Check this out.
Today, Fani Willis lost her special prosecutor, her credibility, and any hope for a political future.
Yo, do these people even pay attention to the dumbness that comes out of their mouth? You have no problem voting for the guy who allegedly paid hush money to an adult film star, Stormy Daniels, is charged with mishandling classified documents and storing papers that are crucial to your national security in his bathroom at Mar-a-Lago, tried to overturn the election results of the Georgia presidential election, ignited an insurrection to overthrow the Constitution, democracy, and the U.S. government, in which a U.S. citizen got killed, told people that if they ingest fish antibiotics and perhaps if they put some bleach and Lysol in their system, they could kill COVID-19, has been charged with falsifying business records and has been known to lie on his taxes, has been found guilty in a civil court of sexually assaulting women, and currently, as we speak, has his attorneys out there arguing in one of his court cases that he never swore an oath to support the Constitution. This is the guy that y'all are supporting and swearing up and down deserves to be the next president. But yet, in the same breath, y'all are also saying that the chick who got a little consensual D on the side in the office is not credible and does not deserve to have a political future? That makes absolutely no sense. I mean, the hypocrisy is amazing. And I know somebody's gonna come in the comment section like, Source, you trying to indoctrinate people. No, I didn't tell you who to vote for. All I said is that the criminal who tried to overthrow the government, who has no respect for the Constitution and wants to be a dictator, might not be the best choice. Because I'm telling you, round one was just a test drive. He was just like trying to, feel it out. But if Trump gets a second round, oh my goodness, that dude is gonna put his foot on the gas. Listen, let me know what you think about the Fani Willis hearing and the judge's ruling that stated that Fani Willis can stay on Trump's case. Do you think that the judge made the right decision? Let me know in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. And hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.